Once we complete that, we have but to await their recovery.
Sounds fair.
Wasn't there something you wished to discuss, Commander?
Yeah, there was. You, really helped us out the other day.
Wasn't there more?
I said, pop your titty out his mouth and stop babying him.
Greetings, and welcome back to New Genesis. Now, I know I hinted at the end of the last video of this that I was going to go ahead and go straight to the next storyline. The one that Sega released a week or two ago. That adds quite a bit to, I guess, the bare bones story that NGS has right now. But, well, I've been thinking, and I've got some plans for that I think will look awesome if I do it right. And that will kind of help the channel a little bit too, though I don't really want to say how, I don't want to spoil it. But as I was preparing to record today, I came to a realization that I don't really have enough material for what I want to do. So, I'm thinking right now the best idea, or the best thing for me to do, is to go ahead and do like the Stia specific side stories. And then, on Fridays, get off my butt and actually make some videos. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. We're going to go back to side stories for a bit to give me time to make videos on Fridays and get more material for my plans.
Oh, hey. It's you. How perfect. We were just looking for you.
Okay. Didn't know that you were in Central City.
Correct. We're here seeking treatment for the wounded, as well as looking to resupply. Once we complete that, we have but to await their recovery.
Sounds fair.
Wasn't there something you wished to discuss, Commander?
Yeah, there was. You, really helped us out the other day.
Wasn't there more?
You know, you don't have to mother him.
We've had a lot of ups and downs during this campaign. We found ourselves constantly wounded and lacking supplies. Even after years of fighting, we hadn't made it to the interior of Stia. Before you three arrived, I was even considering withdrawing from the region. But my troops' morale was still high. I planned on one last offensive before they finally burned out. And then, you three showed up.
So you're going to actually let them get burned up. Not in the sense of like... So yeah, that is a good question. Are we talking about burned up as in tired of doing it, or burned up as in, you know, actually letting them die? Because that's a serious distinction to make here when we're talking about the lives of people. Oh, am I kidding? He's not going to answer that.
I had heard rumors. You saved Ratem, and even survived a Dark Falls attack.
Yeah, okay, see, there's a difference between rumors and fact. And both of those things, those are facts. They actually did happen, yes.
Then, you even paved the way for the reconstruction of Kavaris.
That is also a fact.
I was skeptical, but I didn't have any other options. So I figured I'd try my luck with the three of you. And we all know how that turned out.
We're one hell of a set of good luck charms. That's how that turned out.
Although the battle still isn't over, I need to say this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I owe you my thanks as well.
That's a good question. Is the battle in Stia still ongoing?
It sure is. We haven't secured the entire Stia region yet. And the Dolls plant is still operational. Stop.
Oh, shit, I skipped this cutscene.
Sir,
I accidentally skipped a line of dialogue there. That's on me. I apologize. That was not intentional. Yeesh. That's a little embarrassing, to be honest. Yikes. Alright, let me stop stalling. Get back to this.
I'm going to head back now. You oversee the treatment of our wounded and meet me there.
yes, sir. Shocking.
Shocking how you had to convince him to say all of that, like a teacher or a parent urging a child to speak. Like a teacher or a parent urging a child to apologize for taking another child's toy.
The commander almost never gives thanks to anyone. He does express gratitude sometimes, but I don't think I've ever heard him actually say the words, thank you.
It's kinda sad.
I suppose that demonstrates how much respect he has for you.
More how afraid of you he is because he wouldn't have done it if you hadn't urged him to do so. Hence what I was just saying a minute ago.
Well, I'd better get going now. Let's meet again. Soon.
You know, now I'm not sure. I might have actually been wrong. Maybe he's not so much an edgelord as he is just shy. Huh. What's something to think about anyway?
I didn't know you were back in Alio.
Oh, I get up and down and all around.
I hear you completed your assignment in Stia.
True. Kind of want to say this, but this is honestly the fact. So yeah, it was all Crawford.
Yes, that was a surprise. I never would have expected Crawford to strike out for Stia like that.
I meant more in the case of it was him that sent us there, but yeah, that it was a little bit impressive. I'll say that he jumped out in battle like that, and of course he picked Beck's class. There's no surprise there. I wish I could say that about Bouncer with the soaring blades, but it just don't hit right. You know, now that I mention it, I think the biggest problem that I have with NGS Bouncer, with NGS soaring blades, is that they put in a lot of Etoile's soaring blades from base PSO2 into NGS's soaring blades. And I really didn't mess with Etoile's soaring blades, so that's probably the reason why NGS's soaring blades don't hit quite right. I mean, I'm sure there's other issues that come from just how they were designed as a whole, but that probably has something to do with it, I'm pretty sure.
Neil Stia was Crawford and Glenn's most hated enemy. At first, Crawford said he would let Glenn handle it. But the truth is that he really wanted to settle that old score by Glenn's side.
That's not too horribly surprising.
Fortunately, Dahl's activity in Alio at the time was minimal. It was an opportunity that might have never come again.
Fair.
That's why I didn't hesitate to give my blessing to his decision. I'm glad the three of them were finally able to close that chapter of their battle.
Yeah.
Crawford, Glenn, and Hibana.
Connolly told me about Hibana.
I see. Hibana and Glenn were close for a long time. She was always the type who wore her heart right on her sleeve.
Reminds me of a certain bunny girl I haven't made a video with in a while.
I'm not saying they were the same, but her straightforwardness was a lot like Ina's. When Glenn and Hibana met Crawford, the three of them started working together. Crawford and Glenn's relationship is still more or less the same as it always was. They've always gotten into it over differences of opinion.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And it was always Hibana who would step in to mediate things. She had a knack for finding the compromise and getting them to shake on it. And she was really intuitive. She would just sort of throw a plan together and somehow, it almost always worked out.
Except for the time it didn't.
Which is the exact opposite of Crawford's unrelenting rationality, of course. Yet, they always seemed to get along. All three of them had very different personalities. But they just seemed to mesh with each other. Their teamwork in battle was especially impressive. Glenn would take the front, Crawford brought up the rear, and Hibana would float between them. And the three of them would just chew through the toughest dolls like that. It was a foregone conclusion that those three would one day lead Alio. But then, Hibana's death created a big void. Without her, Crawford and Glenn set off on separate paths that they each thought was best. Now that the score's been settled with Neil's Stia, hopefully, that void can finally be filled.
I don't think that's for either of us to say.
Looks like there's some trouble. I think I better get going.
Have fun.
We'll finish this chat some other time.
Sounds good.
Until then.
Farewell.
It's you. I have heard of your deeds throughout the land. You've even taken the fight to Stia.
That's correct. It's all thanks to everyone's efforts, really.
I suppose so. We only attained victory ourselves after joining forces with you. No one can take on the doll's threat all alone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking about that one.
So, is it true that several dolls' facilities have been discovered in Stia?
Yes.
I hear that there is a plant among them that is quite similar to the lower level of Maquad.
There's a few of them, actually.
And that they found dolls' manufacturing equipment inside.
Also true.
I had presumed that dolls are born naturally, like other living organisms.
Not the case.
I guess that is not the case. So, someone created the dolls? Who? I have so many questions, but I am a warrior, not a researcher. I'll leave that to Crawford.
Yeah.
I've given the order for Retem Arcs to prepare for a new battle. Retem have healed, and we are reorganizing our forces. We cannot simply maintain a defensive posture in the face of this new unknown. We will mobilize for war. We must also consider how to coordinate with Kavaris and Stia, in addition to Alio.
Sounds like a good idea. The quintuplets teamwork is amazing.
It is amazing what they are doing in Kavaris with so few people. People's thinking is beginning to change here lately. We may be able to join forces with those who think differently, while still honoring our treasured Retem traditions. We must not fear the change that will inevitably come with that. We must welcome any and all talent without prejudice.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
I've learned through my own experience that this is necessary in order to deal with so many threats. We still have many battles ahead of us. If we want peace, it is the only way. I hope you will continue to fight by our side.
Okay, well, maybe recording during the afternoon's not the best idea with how powerful this microphone is. But I'll try to find ways around that because it's, well, recording at night kind of gives me a little bit too much of a time crunch to work with, but that's kind of on me. I haven't looked at what stories are left in Kavaris and Stia, but I'll worry about that later. Right now, the way things are going thus far, though, it's looking like I may need to change this slot for next week to give myself more time, but I'll worry about that at the end of the week. For now, we'll just see what Sega has in store with us for the post-Stia short stories for these characters. If you got this point in the video, it means the world to me, as it always does. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Farewell.